This is Jason Gamble, and this is my remote sensing change detection project, and I'm doing it on the Gulf Coast region during the years of 2004 and 2005, and I'm examining the effects of Hurricane Katrina and on water to land changes. To start off, you would want to gather some data, and you can get that from a database, GlowViz, or anyway, in my case I got it from Dr. Marsden. So I'm going to bring up the true color images. That's 2004. And this is 2005. This is not how the image would come originally. Originally it would be 7 different layers of images which you would need to stack. In my case I did not have to, but if you did get information that you needed to stack, you would go to Interpreter, Utilities, and Layer Stack. Your input file would be all 7 of your bands of information. You would navigate to the file where you saved it, and then you'd put that as your input file. Your output file can be called anything that you choose. In my case is 2004 October 15th, and I would stack both images accordingly. After you stack them, they would come out like the images you see on the screen. These are true color images. Your next step is to classify each image. To do that, you go to classifier and run an unsupervised classification. My input file would be my true color images for each year. In this case, I would go navigate to the file and select 04. That would be my input. My output would be project reclassification. From then I would change my number of classes to 10 to 20. In this case I did 10. So you change it to 10 and then hit OK. You do this for both images. So after you do the classification, your images, you bring up your image in a new viewer. So you navigate to your newly created file, which in that case mine is project reclass 04 and 05. So I'm going to bring both of those up in a viewer. This is my 04. This is my 05. As you can see, there's much change in Louisiana and the Barrier Islands of Mississippi and Alabama, as well as the Mobile Delta. A good way to classify each image is to geolink. So to do that, you would bring up your true color image of each year and compare it to your classified image. To classify each image, you would want to bring up your true color image to compare it to your false color composite. An easy way to compare the two is a geolink. You right click, geolink in your true color image, then click in your false color composite that I've already classified, and click on the cursor. And this allows you to look at a specific area on both image windows at the same time. As you can see, the cursor is moving back and forth in the same place on each image. Before you classify your image, it's going to have a grayscale, and then you're going to go to raster and attributes. And again, previously I did 10 classes, so it lists the number of classes. Originally this was a grayscale, but you can change each class to a different color. And you can see as I've changed it to red, it changes one of the reflectants to red, and this is obviously water, so I classified it as blue. On this 2005 image, classes 1 through 5 are blue, which means water, 6 through 10 are green, which means land. If I bring up raster attributes on 04, You can see there's a difference. There's also 10 classes, but 1 through 6 is blue and water instead of 1 through 5, and then 7 through 10 are green, which means land. After I've classified both images and made sure they're correct, the next step is to recode each image. So I'm going to bring those up and explain. So I'm navigating to the file. Fit image to window. This is my forward recode image. I'm going to bring up the 05. These images are both recoded, which means that I've recoded the 10 classes into 2. There were multiple classes of each, both water and land. So if I go to raster and attributes, you can see that now there's 2 classes instead of 10. Before I grouped the classes 1 through 6 into one larger class, which gives me a better accuracy, and the same for land. And I've done this both for both images. To recode each image, you would go to Interpreter, GIS Analysis, and Recode. My input file would be my reclassification image of each image, and my output file, in this case I chose, was Project Recode 04 and Project Recode 05. So I'll navigate to the file, select Project Reclass 04, OK, create my output, which was Project Recode 04, and then don't forget to do your setup recode, and I've already done that. As you can see, I've changed the values to water and land as they needed, and you do this for each image. After recoding, your next step is to do a matrix, which is a post-classification comparison, and it groups both images and stacks them into one. And you can see the change detection from water to land, land to water, unchanged land, and unchanged water. So I'll bring up those images that I've already done the matrix for. So you navigate to your file again, post-classification comparison, fit image to window. And as you can see, there's 4 classes now instead of 2. Expand the window. If I zoom in on a particular area, you can see that the dark green is your unchanged land, your bright green is your water to land, your cyan color is your land to water, and the dark blue is your unchanged water. You can go to raster and attributes, and you can see that there's 4 classes. Number 1 is unchanged water, 2 is water to land, 3 is land to water, and 4 is unchanged land. And I've selected the colors to show the difference. After I've done my post-classification comparison, then your next step is to do an accuracy assessment. An accuracy assessment lets you detect if you've classified each classification correctly and go back and reclassify them so you can get an accurate reading. I'm going to bring up my accuracy assessment report. On my personal test, I got a 95% overall classification accuracy. As you can see, it shows the classes, the number of total points, and the percentages. Just to clarify, I'm going to go back and show you what we were detecting. Again, this is my, after I've recoded, reclassified my true color image. So again, if I bring up my true color image that I started with, so navigate to the file, and bring up 04, fit it to the window. And you can see the true color, red is the land, blue is water, obviously. And you can see how I've classified each type of land cover in the new window. Again, I want to show you the areas of importance, so I'm going to bring up my classified images again, which is this first step. And I'm going to minimize the true color to show you both of them. So again, I have 04 on the left and 05 on the right. You can see that this area, if I geo-link them, this area is the most visible change. I'm going to zoom in on the area. This is the area of the end of Louisiana. You can see that there's a vast difference in 04 and 05. After Katrina, there was much silt deposited, and you can see that there's more buildup of the arms of Louisiana. And so to end, we'll get the true color back up and show you what we started off with again. Fit image to window. And we'll bring up the post-classification comparison. And so from the true color image, we were able to detect and monitor the changes from land to water, water to land, unchanged land, and unchanged water.